welcome everyone. Coffee Break Saturday with My Startup Yatra in association with Alibers Club Private Limited. So here we are because of entrepreneurs, because of life changers, because of people who have changed their life and also changed many lives by not only giving the example of struggle, not only giving the example of a whole new set of products or thinking, but also for the like-minded uh, qualities. So of course this we will I will be introducing this session to you. This session, My Startup Yatra, is all about interaction, is informal interaction. uh, what is the difference between this session and other interviews? This session is going through each and every part of the lives of your obstacles and how you face those obstacles and convert those obstacles into an opportunity. So we have many questions from audience, we have many questions from our side. So those questions are not just questions, those are interaction, like how you have been through the where right now here, and how you are exactly the person that you want to be right now. So yes, first of all, thank you so much for Sri Sri University for being the session partner here. And we have three guests today, so we are lucky that it is the first time we have three guests today. And one by one I'll be introducing everyone to you, the guest. So our first guest is Miss Shema Jha, co-founder at Millet Magic Foundation and brand Wow, so provides sustainable livelihood to more than 10,000
Yes.
families, and a factory through FPO to farmers by helping them produce millet. 70% women workforce are being held by her.
संतोष
So we
हाँ ये
heartfully
तो
welcome Miss
वो
Shema Jha over here.
इसका डाल देना मशीन में
Thank you so much. But just to start off with, I'll add I'm not Miss, I'm Mrs. Shamaja. And as I'm a co founder, the other partner is my husband, my life partner
Oh,
itself.
that's great, that's
So
great,
just adding up to it.
so your workplace and your living place is both the same, working all the
Yeah,
time 24/7.
we start our board meeting right from early morning, 5 o'clock.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, interesting. So, thank you so much for being here, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, our second guest, Mr. Shubhrajit, founder of Rector Flavors Private Limited, manufacturer of natural liquid flavors for food application in spices and seasonings. He has started his journey alone, but over years has built in his own ecosystem, consisting of our like his team, suppliers, and customers, offering products which eradicates quality issues arising due to seasonal variety and variation of spices. So I heartfully welcome Mr. Shubhrajit here.
Thank you, Pradesh. Thank you so much for having me here.
Of course, we will be having so much of conversation, and we have so much to learn from you and the others. So our third guest, Mr. Mohit Mittal, founder, health launches, and also a human nutritionist. So that's great. That's great. Being an entrepreneur and also an human nutritionist, yoga and meditation teacher, and exercise specialist with an experience of 3 years of working with clients from India, USA, Europe, Canada, UAE, UK, and Nepal. So we welcome you, Mr. Mohit, here.
Thank you so much for having me. And that's a very brief introduction, very precise. Thank you so much.
So that's a pleasure. So the initial question is always the same for everyone, and this is my favorite question. So one by one I'll ask, first starting from Mr. Shubhrajit. So how you are here and what's the journey of yours?
How I'm here, that's a good one. I started my journey in 2014. That's my business journey. But the concept of entrepreneurship started way back when I joined in my first job in 2008. Uh, I got introduced to a world of food where uh, where I got a knowledge about it's just food is not about only salt and pepper, what we call seasoning, but it's much more complex and much more interesting than what we generally think of food. uh, I got introduced to different type of flavors and other ingredients. So that was my learning curve. So after gradually seeing the market and getting exposure to many ingredients, I thought of forming Richter flavors with the notion that we will be into natural flavors, manufacture natural flavors, and we identified some of the issues which we wanted to eradicate during my course of my working with different companies. So that is how the idea of Richter flavors was born in. So 2014 we started, and it has been a roller coaster ride till now. So, but hopefully everything is smooth due to this COVID when everything we had an issue, but now everything is smooth, and hopefully for future also to be good.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for the enlightenment. So moving ahead, the same question to Mr. Mohit.
Yeah. So my journey has been very short journey so far, and it has been very, I will say, a very classical and wonderful journey. Like, it's not like I only have some struggles. It has been very wonderful journey of learning because I have got every time whenever I've started something, I have the grace and that opportunity to have mentors over there to guide me. So when you have mentors, the journey becomes easier, right? So, uh, but I will just say here that whatever I have started, it has always started because of one factor, that something always pinched me. For example, I'm a mechanical engineer first, then I'm a BTech in now nutrition dietetics. So it's a double bachelor's, right, to me. So there is some point that always pinched me. Like I wanted to first learn about cars, right? So I did mechanical engineering. Then I wanted to learn about human machinery, right? I wanted to learn how human interact. So then I started learning about human nutrition and yogic aspect and all the workouts, etc. So there is always something that pinches in my mind, in my heart, that I want to study about it, I want to learn on it, and then I want to deliver to people so that I whatever I learn I can share with people all over
Exactly.
the globe, right? That small thing is driving me from so many years. Right now it's been 5 years I started my all this learning process, and then something happened. When we have all the learning over the year, then something happened to me. I saw my mother, she has ulcerative colitis. If no one knows about that, that is ulcers in the stomach region, in the colon region, right? And my father is a diabetic patient. So two classic, problems that is very much controllable through diet, workout, meditations, yogic practices. So I thought, if my father, if my mother has such problems in one family, there will be lakhs of people around, not in the India, and globally if we see, it will be a huge population facing such problems, okay, medical issues, fat issues. Then I had a vision to start this company called Health Launches. That was the first step I took. So it was just it was not a thought to start a company, it was just to educate the people. And when I started educating others, then eventually, when you are expanding the zones, you have to make a company out of it,
Correct.
then it became a business out of it.
Correct.
So uh, I started from somewhere else, but now I'm on a journey of an entrepreneur. So this is how it all started, and now it's going on. So yeah, it's a beautiful phase I'm going through.
Uh,
Thank you.
First of all, sorry to hear that about your parents, but also we are happy that you set back yourself and try to find the solutions, and you are really doing great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you so
I
much.
kept this question last for Miss Shema because she's vouching for two entrepreneurs right here. So herself and her husband. So of course, how you both are here, where you are working right now, and where you want to be.
So here it is like both of us were hardcore corporate employees, very much into retail. We were like very much happy with our regular jobs. Both of us being marketeers, we were 100% satisfied with typical what you call the corporate life. But you, as it is that at times when the time wants to change, when the tide is into some different direction, something triggers. So that is what happened about 3 years back. And believe me, 3 years back, I never ever imagined that I'll be in this place. I always felt that okay, I'm into retail, I'm into mall functioning. Maybe I'll expand, I'll go grow with that. But something happened in one of our activities. In malls, we generally do lots of activities and all. And I always clubbed every activity with CSR activities. I always used to do small something for the society. That was always there. So we were doing a Women's Day activity, and in that I called lots of women entrepreneurs. Along with that, I wanted deprived entrepreneurs who don't get chance to come to mall to come and showcase their product. Among those, I got to interact with one of the groups which had lots of millet-based products. When I started interacting with them, I found that they were actually having good products, but they didn't have that marketing inclination. The typical
Hmm.
problem which right now entire India is facing, the market linkage part.
Correct.
So we interacted a lot, we discussed a lot, and there I just, as a thing to help them, I started thinking about millet and how we can market it up. But what I said initially, when the tide wants to turn it ways, so we started getting lots of good mentors, and finally, being in corporate, we never had the funds, but we got the source that government fund good projects, central government MSME project. We applied, we never thought we will get it, but it clicked. We got the project approval. We got a grant under Spurti from government of
That's great.
India,
That's great. That's great.
and today we are here setting up a complete food processing unit on millet. At the same time, we are also looking after thousands of farmers. As you said, we are starting our FPO, where we are even collaborating with them, because their produce are being used in our factory. And that is the way the three years back this journey started, and today we are here.
That's great, and we're also enlightened with your presence. As we say that an entrepreneur won't be an entrepreneur if he or she might not solving any problem of the society. So yes, with this quote, this is Saikat Das, all the way from UK, and thank you so much for the platform and being the session partner to Shishi University. So we have the CEO of Shishi University's incubation, Mr. Barada Prasad Panigrahi. So thank you, sir, for being here and giving the platform to us. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, please, sir,
Thank you
please.
so much, Minister Saikat.
So that's a great feeling, like a person like you are here, and we would be learning from you as well. And thanks for giving this platform. And yes, of course, stay safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So starting with those, we and our audience really want to know about your product, about your startup, what exactly the motive behind it, and exactly in a simple term, what is it and how they will gain profit in terms of mentally, professionally, or personally from your startups. So one by one, we will be starting from Mr. Shubhajit.
We founded Nectar Flavors on one idea that we wanted to eradicate some of the issues which we used to see in the spices industry. As I said, I was working in a food industry, specifically in a spices and flavors industry. So during interaction with various clients, we used to find that there used to be a seasonal variation of spices. As you're aware, every spice has a certain tenure in which they are quite fresh, and everything is stored in cold storage. So every time they had to face issue with the quality of spices, which in turn affected their final product. And every time they have to adjust the ratio of the spices in it. So that was a constant problem. So when I was working with a company, I came up with this idea that why can't we use natural ingredients and make a concoction of it or flavors of it and use it all throughout the year and help eradicate this problem to up to a certain extent. So with that idea, we formed the company in 2014. We worked prior to that. Before forming the company, we had worked on few of the products and pitching some of my regular clients that time when I was working in the company. And by God's grace and by our hard work, those products clicked with some of our clients. So from day one, we were operational and we were supplying. So we didn't have an issue in finding a customer on day one because we had planned it earlier. before we opened the company. What we identified the issues what the customer facing was one on the quality parameters. Second was the storage. As you are aware that when in the spices the turnover is quite high,
Hmm.
so they have to keep in the product, purchase the product when they are in season, and store it in cold storage. And when storing in cold storage, there's a certain amount of cost.
Correct.
Then there is pilferage. Then there is again loss of quality in the product. So all those things were again costing them money. So when we introduced this product to them or this concept of product to them,
Hmm.
they liked this concept, and we pitched in the product. We what we did is until now what we do is we not only give the product to them, we go and do a trials for them. We show the proof of the concept to them. After that, they are convinced, and then we start off with the orders. That is how
That's
most of our clients are acquired. So
that's great.
the challenges what we faced initially was pitching in this new concept. As you're aware that anything new, when you pitch someone, they
Exactly.
are a little skeptical about it.
Yes, there should be a learning
So for
curve.
average, yeah. So for any new customer to kick in and start ordering even for 1 kilo, you have to struggle for 6 to 8 months with them.
Correct.
So that was the difficult part. Until now, that is a challenge with some of the customers. So now the customer, what I can say in 7 8 years I've seen is the customers are really aware of the product, and they are also looking for solutions. Earlier the food costs were quite cheap, so they were not looking at substituting it. Chalo, it's not a big deal.
Hmm.
But now with rising cost prices, input cost, we are seeing an increase in the demand of our product.
That's good. That's good. In fact, people are getting aware also. In fact, in terms of how
Right.
the products are working, in terms of their health, in terms of what they're consuming, and what shouldn't be they consume. So I think the
Right.
learning curve is there, but it's not in a pace, and we should be there for make them learn about giving the knowledge of the product. So giving the knowledge of your
Yes.
product is the main aspect of your journey and startup. So
Yes. For
always a gap.
anything new, yes. For anything new you're starting or new concept when you present to someone, it takes a little time. So my advice to any new entrepreneur is to stick on to your ideas, and it will take time, but have faith in your product.
Of course, that's what we want, the belief. So moving ahead
Yeah.
with the word belief. So I'm moving ahead to Miss Shamaja. Can you please describe your product and how your product can change lives, and what exactly we are expecting from your product?
Last 3 years, we have actually been through what is known as a lifestyle change, a forced lifestyle changes
Hmm.
from typical fast food and junk food and instant food, the ready to eat things with lots of preservative, with lots of unhealthy, I can say that, unhealthy things in it. And we have been using it like anything, and we saw a big break 3 years back when this current pandemic hit the world.
Hmm.
And right now people are thinking of healthy, but as soon as one think of healthy food, and generally our youngsters, what, or the kids, what they think, oh, no taste, those
Yes.
typical dal chawal or those typical saag sabzi, that is what people feel. Or if even if it is a non-vegetarian, you have to go boiled away. So those were the thoughts from where we started our production with, wherein we said no. Even if we have millet, we will not allow people to compromise on their taste or on the pellet that they have been enjoying their food with. So normally when you see on the footpaths or just generally when you pass by, what are the places where majorly you find youngsters, or even in today's date, family people moving around? Those noodles, those wraps, rolls,
Fast foods.
packaged wafers, fast food,
Yeah.
everything. So we said that okay, let's replicate that fast food into a healthy fast food. From there our journey started. We made it was very difficult to replicate all those things in millet, because millet being gluten free, it's very difficult to find it. But
Yes.
still we kept our perseverance very strong,
The
and right now we
texture
have
and
20
the
products.
exact taste, replication of the taste,
Yeah,
because we
so
always
right now
compare,
we can.
after eating we compare that, okay, that tastes good because we that have oil, although it's, we know that it's very very unhealthy, but of course at
So,
the end of the day.
we vouch on, and that's why we believe in experiencing our product. Wherein our noodles, pasta made out of millet is going very good. Besides, we have snacks items like we have wafers, we have millet corn wafers, we
That's
have
great.
snack chunks. Then even in sweet part, we are using jaggery. We are using nut. We have nutty balls. We have energy bars. We have a complete. We have choco chip cookies, and believe me, our choco chip cookies are liked by small kids also,
Oh, wow.
wherein there is no chocolate, just little bit of choco chip on the top just to make it look
Chocolate base.
very much chocolate based.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are just using, and we vouch on the things that our products are having no gluten, there is no added preservative, no added flavor, no colors, and yet people are slowly and steadily accepting it. And best part is what today's day people like is more than the product and the taste is the branding part,
Branding
the
part.
look and the appeal part.
Hmm.
So we are working a lot on that,
The
and that is
packaging.
actually helping us a lot. Yeah. So from, we say that from packaging to fast food, we are compiling everything into a healthy benefit hamper and providing it to the world.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. As our whole conversation is going towards healthy and food and our more future, so I'm very keen to forward to Mr. Mohit Mittal about how he is here and what exactly his product is and how he's been helping as a human nutritionist. I believe, right?
Yeah, that's a great connection. Exactly. So we are in a space of providing services. We don't have any product line. We are in providing a fat loss services and fixing interrelated diseases like diabetes, PCOD, etc. by reducing the fat. Okay. So our market segment is completely middle class and upper middle class,
Hmm.
right? Now, and in that also majorly women, because we have seen throughout the day they are doing for their children, for husband, etc., and they are not getting time for themselves right now, right? What happened exactly to a mother? So seeing there are 3 to 4 problems that's happening in the health industry and especially for the women. Majorly is the mentoring part. There are so many women there who don't want to go to gym and don't want a trainer to say do this 5 exercises. They want someone to be there with them constantly who can show them, demonstrate them, and make them do that part. So that is the first problem that we are catering. That is a mentoring support we are giving daily life, right? Second problem is always about time constraints. So what happens? 30 minutes traveling to gym, then 30 minutes traveling back from the gym, 1 hour spending in the gym, 2 hours is gone for a women, and women is so much, their schedule is so tight that they don't have this much time to spend on
Correct.
themselves for spending 2 hours. So best solution is they can just be at their home, put on the Zoom sessions through our app, right? And mentor will be there to guide them. Okay, so they are saving their time also. Third problem that generally people face is the transportation. For example, my mother don't know how to drive any vehicle, and she don't want to go in the cabs also, right? So best solution for them is to do the home workouts, to do the yogic practices, and follow the home diet.
Correct.
So we are targeting this market who wants to stay at home, who want to work out from the home, who want a mentor who can support them. Like for us, our mentor is Mr. Brother sir, who is in the session right now, right? So everywhere, if you want to grow in life, you need a mentor, right? You can't grow without a mentor. Okay, so this is the space we are catering, and that's a mission. We have right now 700 members from all over the world
That's
right
great.
now.
That's great.
We started with India, and we have gone into US market, NRIs, right? We have gone into UK, we have gone to Dubai also. So we have few members from all over the globe right now. We are catering with different time zones also. So we are a team of 8 members right now, and all the team members are trained to provide the services of diet, of yogic practices and workout. We are combining all these three in one program called Mission Slim Possible
That's
program.
great. That's great.
So this is what we are providing to the people of India and all over the world. Yes.
I think the explanations and the information that we have like gathered right now from three of our guests is the most intrinsic part, and of course, we, in fact, the viewers needed to know about the health, about exactly what are the products are going on in the market, because people really want to switch to vegan or healthy products, or even it's non-veg also, but they should be in a proper nutrition based. So I think there's a missing learning curve, and how you are like planning to fill the gap for the missing learning curve, and how you planning to fill the gap for customer validation and customer information. So let's start with Miss Shemaja.
See, right
Sorry, Mrs.
now, as
Shemaja.
it is,
Yeah,
right now, it's very important that things should, especially like product like ours, not only it needs to reach the market, reach the shelf, but more important is to create the experience of what we are talking about, what I am talking about right now. Maybe all of you listening also, I'm not sure whether you will agree to it or not, but once you taste my product, so you'll immediately understand what I'm talking about. In today's date, experience is very important for customer validation, and which is what we are looking at. We are looking at creation of Wow Mom experience centers, where we want people to experience our product. We want people to have it there, and then if they want, they can just pick up off the shelf also. Besides, the second thing which we feel, being a marketeer, which we feel strongly, that which is important, the story. Nowadays, the storytelling of the product is very important. So let me add up to it. Our factory is in the interiors of Mayurbhanj, which is completely run by the tribals over there. We don't have any people from hotel management or from IITIM who is helping us doing it, but they have just been trained and they are making all those products. And we proudly say that our 70% women workforce is women. We have our main machine operators as ladies over there. Besides, we are, like we say, we when we promote our products, we say that you have one of our products and you'll be bringing smile of on 3,000 faces across 7 villages. So
great.
that's not a small thing.
That's
So
great. That's great.
besides that, we are very much looking after the entire, we are not only just seeing the market penetration of our product, but we are looking at the bottom line integration and sustainability also. And as I said, we have farmers also with us. Besides, there is a very important grass which grows over there, sabai, of which baskets and all are made. So we are even integrating sabai products in our, we are using it as a packaging ones. So we say our products are healthy as well as eco-friendly. So we are not only creating good products as an experience of being a health issue, but at the same time, we are creating a complete story behind it. So
That's
we
good.
feel that is what works in today's
Fabulous,
date.
fabulous. In fact, the storytelling is most important in terms of marketing, also in terms of any product. Even if there is no story, the product can't be sold. So there's a
In
saying.
today's date,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
true,
So there
true.
should be a story. So moving ahead with Mr. Shubhajit. So what's your plan for the future for giving your customer a validation towards sustainability, and how your product will change in further processes?
See, right now, as I said, the biggest challenge is to educate the customer about the product and how to use about it. So we are trying to set up a team. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm running it solo. So for the next fiscal year and thereon, we are planning to set up a team where we train them as to how what exactly is our product, how it is advantageous for our customer, and how can our customer use it, and how to get through the concept to them. So that is what our next step is going for our customers. What we are saying is the acceptance level for the product has to go up. People has to be
Hmm,
educated.
hmm.
So for that, we are making a team, both in a marketing team as well as we are looking to set up a good R&D team also to cater to the customer.
Yeah, I think updation and innovation in every term of your product is important, because it should be
And
go through.
also very important, yeah, sorry to interrupt you. And also very important that we understand the customer requirement. It's not only what we are trying to sell to them, we have to understand what exactly is the requirement. Because with this industry, ma'am could relate with that, is very specific as in terms of flavors as to what they want. For just for example, an MDH garam masala will work wonders in north,
Hmm.
but if you go and down south, you won't see MDH much on the shelf of the product retail shelves. You'll see the local brands there. So that has to, from manufacturer point of view, we have to understand that what market we are into and what customer is exactly looking at. It is very important for future
Correct,
system.
correct. Because distance and by distancing region and culture, there's a very much like vast gap towards mentality and the environment with the living style. So changing that living style and making them know that okay, that living style wouldn't be changed, but exactly your health can change. So that's the main point of your customer, making validation and making them aware. So
Right.
moving ahead with this thing. Yes, sir. You're telling something, Mr. Shubhajit.
That's it. I was saying what you are saying is quite right.
That's right.
You can continue.
Thank you so much for enlightening this this session with the answer. So moving ahead with the same question. So Mr. Mittal, what do you think? Because you are working in different region, different countries with different mentality, thoughts, and everything. So the environment is like way changed. So how is your plan for the future, and what exactly you are doing to incorporate your ideas and exactly making your customers knowledgeable about what they should do and how they should do.
Yeah, definitely. So the first part of such services is to educate the people, right? Uh, Without education, you can't expect a small startup who is growing to survive also. I was reading a book called Rework. It's a best selling book. There they say big companies has an advantage of their brand name, but the small companies who are growing, they have an advantage of educating the people. For example, we are in a very competitive space. We have Healthy Five Me, we have Servat. They are not educating people, they have the brand selling, right? The brand is selling them the product, right, or their services. But for us, we are now focusing completely on educating the people by delivering them regular videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We have 3 targeted days now where we will, through our newsletters, through our emails, we will be sending them on other different channels. So that is like Shama ma'am was saying, we have to give them the taste of our service, right? So our taste of our service is our education, the things that we are delivering in our video, like how fat loss happens, what it takes to reduce the PCOD. This is the taste we are providing to the people through education. Now, once they know how the trainers are, what knowledge we have, definitely they will be on the board also, right? So we are creating trust from our educational stuff. We are creating courses right now, full-fledged video recorded courses, which we will deliver to all the members also, so that they can uh, complete it on the regular intervals. Secondly, after this process, we will be going little on the kids side, because so many members we have right now in our family. They say our हमारे बच्चों के लिए भी कुछ करिए, right? So from the members we have came to know that a kids, this kids industry, or you can say kid market, is too huge, because every parent want their kids to evolve,
Correct.
become better human as they progress. So we will be pivoting right now a little bit towards the kids side also, and then take on two things right now in our health launches company, that will be Mission Slim Possible for fat loss and kids holistic development. So two things we are targeting in future.
That's great. That's great. So, moving ahead with the like making this conversation interaction more interactive, and as I earlier told that it's an informal way of interaction because many people don't speak informal things because we want our viewers to speak to the guest because this is the most they can make out of it, and this is exactly the opportunity that all of us are waiting because you are exactly where the people really wants to be. So there are many questions, there are many things that they don't like speak or utter because they are thinking that okay, like giving an answer is easy, but making a question, so that's the difficult thing. So yes, so making it more comfortable and interactive. So this is coffee break Saturday. Grab a tea or grab a coffee or whatever. So I'll ask questions to everyone right now, like three of you. So just give your point of view about that and making it interaction. So what is the hurdle for getting funded? Anyone can mute and just start. and anyone can interrupt, and you can say no, that is not right, that can be happen, just like
See, earlier what used to, when we started in 2014, startup per se was never considered to be good.
Mhm.
You have left your job, you are doing startup, आपका कुछ नहीं हो सकता. That is the first reaction what you get from friends and family.
Correct.
So that mindset now we see has changed a little bit. Then again, reaching the investor is a little bit tough, especially for us when we are settled in the backward area, where we don't get a reach to investors. But fortunately enough, now we were connected through a activation. We are getting a recognition or at least a foothold with the investors, where we are getting to learn as to how to pitch in with the investors,
Mhm.
how to what they want exactly.
Mhm.
So we are being guided through that, through a simple way. So we need more such incubate centers to approach us and give us at least chance as to present our product there or to meet with an investor. So that is one thing we see as a hurdle. But I see that in 7 8 years that has changed. Earlier it used to be difficult to get even
Yes,
to an incubation.
I bet.
Get selected for incubation is
Yes.
difficult. But now we are seeing there are a lot of incubation centers who are ready to help us in getting funds and funds, grant, everything. They are trying to help us. So that I have seen that change also.
I think Mrs. Sharma wants to tell something, and she's like unmute from the very beginning.
No.
So of course, ma'am.
The word huddle, word huddle that you used was itself which created a complete picture of what we have gone through. So it's very true. But as Shobhajit said, it's very true. 7 8 years back, it was just not possible. But now, with so many good hand holdings, I think government plans and supports right now, so many people coming up as angel investors, and especially the incubation center like Shishi University and all, who are actually giving us a complete hand holding how to go for it. uh, when we even 3 years back when we started it, we were not sure that anywhere further we'll get any kind of assistance, but in last just 6 7 months we have felt no, our confidence level has gone up.
Hmm.
No, with innovative ideas, good projects, you can definitely get things done. And again, I'll repeat the same thing, the incubation houses are actually creating wonders for people like us.
I think before asking the question, Mr. Shubhajit was sitting just normally. When I asked the question and with the hurdles and funding, he was like, "Okay, it's my question. I want to say something," and he was like smiling. So I think like back in the smile, there is a very structured story behind like getting the funding, how funding works, and is the pain of entrepreneurs. I can know. So with the whole story, and right now, Mr. Mittal is also smiling. So please. Please bump it on, say something about that.
Yeah. So, we always talk about funding, but we don't talk about why we need funding. Should we have funding also? We should not have funding. What I have been through, I have known one
Shravan,
thing. Yeah, someone is saying something. Okay. So, what I have experienced is every startup doesn't need funding. It's not like you have to have funding, right?
Correct.
You can be totally bootstrapped for as many years you want. I was reading some quote in the book, I think Zero to One by Peter Thiel.
Yes.
He said, best money is the customer's money, client money. You don't need investors' money to grow. But yes, if you want to scale fast, if you want to grow rapidly, then definitely you should have that investors money on, right? So first we need to have clarity for the people who are watching right now. Otherwise mind says startup करना है तो fund लेना है. ऐसा नहीं है. This is not the right case. So अगर आपको you want to scale it rapidly, if you think you have a scalable business right now in hand, then only think about uh, having funds from the angel
Angel
investors or
investors.
VCs,
Okay.
whatever, right? Secondly, I am right now in the process of learning the pitch. So till then I learn completely the pitch. It's not even relevant to go towards the
Hmm.
investor where you don't even know what to speak.
Exactly.
First we have to practice the art of pitching to the investors. You just can't go and they will give money. It's not like that. And third part which I have realized is pitching and making pitch deck or everything. It's an itself a complete 24/7 job. It's not like you are doing business also, you are in operations also, you are in HR also, you're looking marketing, sales, and then you have to create pitch deck also, you have to rehearse that. It's not possible. You can't do 10 things at same time. So if you want to have funding, if you want to raise funding, then you cannot be on the front end of the company. You have to take a back step, right? You have to give a control of your company to maybe some other team members,
Correct.
so that you can channelize your energy in getting funds. Otherwise you are you are everywhere, and then you will not anything from anywhere. Okay, so that's the challenge I am facing. I have to take a back step, and I have to create the pitch, etc., and that should be world class. Otherwise you don't get the good investors also, right? And last point
No,
which I
Yes,
last
yes.
point
Ah.
which
yeah,
I
yeah,
have
please tell.
learned,
Yes, yes, yes.
which I have learned is,
Mm.
every investor is not a good investor. Some
Mhm.
investors just look for a very quick exit. you know they just need their money back in 1 year or 2 years. It's not like that. You need to find an investor who can fit in the culture of that company, who knows how to take this company to the long term sustainability. It's not about making money only, right? So you need to find good investors also, which can correlate to your business. So that's very important.
That's great. That's great. So moving ahead to Mrs. Sharma. Yeah, yes, you want to tell something?
Yeah, I was saying that it's like, as he said, it's very correct that you have to take a back step and you have to put, either you have that idea. The other one is, which I follow, that if you don't have an option, make your other part of the time work. Like,
That's
I
interesting.
generally prepare my pitches and all from night at 8 o'clock to early morning 8 o'clock. That is the time when I can do that. So people who are actually looking at that and coming up into entrepreneurship business, they have to remember, 12, you have 12 hours, 12 hours for office and 12 hours for, again, office only, but back end
Back
office.
end office. Correct. So is it important to have a co-founder or a partner with you? Yes, I know this question is biased for Mrs. Sharma. Yes, exactly. I'm not asking, but is it important, Mr. Shubhajit?
Again, as Mohit was saying that if you want to have a
I think your connection is not stable, Mr. Shubhajit.
co-founder, you need to have getting little flickered. Am I audible?
Yeah, right now you're audible. Please tell.
Okay. Okay. What I was saying is, a co-founder should come with the same vision what you have, and he should
Hmm.
bring something to a table rather than just financially. When
Hmm.
I'll share my experience. When I started with my company, my friend wanted to invest in,
Hmm.
but he said I'll invest it, and I want to see my money grow. So I said thank you. I want someone who is interested in the cause and has an active participation.
Hmm.
I just don't want the money. So you have to be very sure what type of co-founder do you want. Do you just want him for financially, or you want him to be a part of the cause for 24/7? That you have to look at.
Or what I have done, as
Yes, correct. Yes, yes, yes.
Saikat said.
So, Mr. Mittal, what do you say about that?
So I was very clear from the beginning that I cannot start this alone, right? So I talked to around 15 people in the beginning when I started in 2017. Out of those 15, today there are only two people. Like, those are the co-founders only, right? So 13 people went away because they were not on the same page. They didn't have the same vision, and all that politics happens. Then they are just making groups and just talking at the behind. So now the two-person that we have right now, they are bringing something unique to the company,
Correct.
right? So if I have the knowledge of human aspect, I have the knowledge of nutrition, of yogic aspect, and the workout aspect. The other co-founder has the knowledge of graphic designing, has the coding design codes and etc. So your co-founder should not be exactly the same copy of you. If you are the there is a quotation, right? सबसे ज्यादा समझदार अगर आप हो अपनी कंपनी में, then your company can't grow.
Correct.
So you
Correct.
have a person who is better than you, who is more intuitive than you, who is more capable than you, है ना? Otherwise conflicts happen. Okay, so yeah, that two things I'm working on right now.
So is there any problem on finding co-founders, or like if you have to find it? Is there any problem, or is there anything that yes, there should be a co-founder to just fill the gaps, because everyone doesn't know everything. right? So there should be a gap, or there should be a talent that is filling. So is it important to have it?
No, that is actually quite subjective as to, as in my case, I'll say I don't feel a need for a co-founder.
Hmm.
What I'm doing right now, I can easily do it alone. But it's again very specific as to subjective to every individual as to what they want.
See, in my case, jokes apart, both of us are taking two different, completely two different aspects.
Hmm.
I'm looking after sales and marketing and the front end,
Hmm.
so he is into technical and back end operations and all. And then only the things are moving,
Correct.
because I am not technically sound to go and look into the machines and all. So definitely, even in my case, where both of us are together, but we are into two different. We have divided our workspace and we know what we are into. So that is very important. I feel it's very important that there it should be at least two people running the show.
And is it important to prioritize your business in a subjective way, that okay, we have a plan for 5 years, so 5 years down the line I have this kind of plan. So is it okay to just dissolve your equity and bring money to your like your foundation or your product or your company, and to stringent that line towards having plan for 2 years. So 5 years plan has been stringent to 2 years, and we will get that plan doing for like getting those results. What we'll be getting on 5 years we'll get in 2 years. So is it okay to just dissolve your equity or just get the funding? Because of course getting the funding means you are giving control to someone, and there should be a proper deliverance, there should be a proper management issues, problems and solutions. Because getting funding is not a issue. Using those funds into exact manner and way that you have planned and getting the result, because you have to pay, right? You have to pay back those equities, or you have to pay back those interest to them. So as startups are babies. So those are babies of ours, because we have like from the very childhood we grow up with. So is it okay or what?
See, 4 months back when we started it, we planned that we'll go for investors after this year. But thankfully, the way things moved, felt that okay, the time for expansion has come. So it has to be between the team, the board. They need to decide. Definitely, there was about 6 months further program. But the way things moved, it just gave us the time that no, we are ready. So when you create a roadmap, if it is the time when you need an investor, it comes early, you go for it. If it is not coming, if it's coming slightly late, you have to wait and watch. So it's like both way, what I feel.
Mr. Pujit, what do you think about that?
See, again, the issue here in bringing an investor, we have to first make a plan, maybe a short-term 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, where you want to see your company to be. And again, funding is not just only for cash. You need to have a vision for it as to where you want to invest that funding, where it has to go, and the part of investment you are making. What is the X amount deriving out of it in terms of sales and volumes, everything. So that has to be very clear. Just for the sake of getting funds, so that to say that we are funded and don't know then what to do about that fund is not the right way to go. So my advice is just to have a 3 years plan in hand as to where you want to reach in terms of sales and how you want to reach, and then calculate backward as to what is the funding you require, and then go for a right partner. As I said, don't go only for the finances. Someone is trying to invest, don't look out for that. Look out for someone who can
The vision
help
is
you in
same.
reaching your goals. Right. Let's say if you have set an X amount at the end of 3 years, you want to reach in terms of volumes. Will that investor help you in reaching that? Money can be easily procured. If you want, you can get a bank loan, everything.
Hmm.
But an investor not only brings in money, but also brings in contacts,
Good. Yes, correct.
his expertise.
Hmm.
That is what you're looking at.
Correct.
So my advice to any budding entrepreneurs is to look for those qualities in an investor.
So moving ahead to the same question to Mr. Mithil. So what do you think? And I'll be asking another question to you also.
So, sir, I think co-founder, for me, co-founder is never meant for, rapidizing your business from 5 years to 2 years. Co-founder has some other purposes. It's not to scale it so fast that it will help us from bringing our business from 5 years journey to 2 years journey. No, no, no. That is maybe investor role, right? Different investors coming to your company, they can help you to bring your visions early.
But isn't
From
it?
5 year
But
vision, you can
isn't it as a deal that is a dangerous deal, because of course if you don't have that plan or strategy to deliver the same thing within 2 years or 3 years, that means you are dissolving your capacity of towards your company. You're dissolving your equity something. So isn't it a hard deal or something?
Yeah, so it depends on the person's courage, how courageous you are. So some take risk, in scam 92 they also say risk hai to ishq hai. So it's all about how much courageous you are, how much willingness of risk you can take on. So for me, I am ready to take that risk also, right? Till the vision is getting, till the direction is right. See, if the direction is wrong, then doesn't matter you reach in 2 years or 5 years, because ultimately you're wherever you're reaching is wrong. So the path should be right. That's more important. And secondly, what I have observed is many startups don't even need to scale so rapidly also, right?
Hmm.
Why I'm saying you this, some startups space is not competitive. If your space is very competitive, you should have a business plan for scaling up it fast. For example, my health sector is very competitive. If I will think of 10 years, then I will be left behind. Then other players will come in the this segment, and I will be out. So if I want to wrap it up, I want the success to come in 2 years. I have, instead of 5 years, then definitely I need crores of funding.
Correct.
I need to really uh, go fast on this. Yeah, that's the important point.
So that is the reason Mr. Shubhradij also told that R&D is most important. So you have to like keep going R&Ds, upgrade your products. That's great. So I'm just throwing this question to three of you. So is it important to have MPV, the minimum viable product, or it is important to just go in the market and see whatever, like how your customer works, how the thinking works, is there any same product or not? So first the product or the first the research?
I will definitely say first the research. You need to have an exposure to what the market needs. I'll be very specific to my industry as to where we have to see what is prevalent in the market, what are the taste buds, what are the new trends which is prevalent in the market, and base your product on that. We can't just make a product and then go in and pitch it. That will never work. We have to follow the trends, whatever food trends is current, and based on that, we have to make the product and pitch into the customer. So that will be more beneficial. Go in a structured way rather than just making a product and sir, this is a product. ये बढ़िया है, इस पे डाल दीजिए बढ़िया है. That one won't work.
Uh-huh.
The customer won't get into it. But when you go with the facts, these are the latest trends which is going. Based on that, this is the product we have made, and for within the next 1 or 2 years, you will see that these flavors are going to be launched in the market. So this is a more structured approach when you go to the customer.
What do you think, Mrs. Shema?
See, in today's date, being a marketer, like we used to face in corporates also, and definitely it goes everywhere. That even the existing company, when they launch a new product or any new campaign, also before to that there is a research which happens. Even for smallest of the thing nowadays, voting is required.
Correct.
So in today's date, any which ways, and you can't understand just by your mood or just 10 people's mood what is the customer's mindset. Every day things are changing. So in today's date, research and a very in very new near past, the research should be done to launch any product. That is very very important. And with every new input, research has to be done. That is the real mantra for going with the entrepreneurship in today's time.
So that's
In fact, in anything.
that's great. So how have you researched your product?
See, initially when we started with it, as it was a government project, we had to do lot many things. To just submit that project report, we did lot many things. We had to submit, just to get that project approved by government. We went through all the ground level research. We did lots of Google, through Google form also we did lots of research. What is the current market acceptability? Plus we did lots of studies also. Current trend, as I said, millet. Why millet? In today's date, if you see, millet is even reversing lots of ailments if you are having millet and all. So those were the research, we went through it, and then we saw that the product general, if you have it, it's not very tasty. So then we got into those directions ki why people are not going for healthy products and why they are going for unhealthy products. Again we went into those research, we saw that taste was the thing which was picking up. So there we got to blend the taste and millet, and then we picked up products, what are the products which are more moving in the market. And as I've been saying right from the beginning, we saw that fast food is going. So we did the research and we kept following it. And in today's, right now also, whenever we are putting up a new product, first we make it go in the market wide. We do lots of sampling. Only once we have at least 1,000 people's recommendation, then only we go, at least minimum, then only we put that product in market. And we go with small batches. We see whether it is being accepted or not. Once accepted, then only and right now we are having a product bucket of 20. We
Oh,
have total 50 products which we have already, the research is done and we have it ready, but we are not launching it. We are going one step at a time. We are doing, making
correct,
small batches, doing the sampling research, and then coming up with the
correct.
market.
That's great.
So
That's great.
that is required in today's day.
So that's called the planning of an entrepreneur. That's great.
Yeah.
So moving over with Mr. Mittal. So Mr. Mittal, how have you came through with your research? And because you have a vast area, like globally you are here, and people have different aspects of interest. People do have their different kind of taste and their food habits. So how you researched your thing, your product about that?
Firstly, I don't know if I mentioned or not. I am very early into this business thing, So I'm maturing as an entrepreneur in this. I didn't do any research when we started delivering these services to Indian community, right? I just had one pain point, seeing my parents and seeing others in the community, and we created a module out of it and hired trainers, and we went for it. All this MVP, all these names, fancy names, I learned 1 year back. So we are learning, right? So I then now, if you say I have to launch something, definitely I will do research, because research gives you more scope. It gives
Correct.
you more brainstorming, you can say sessions where you can brainstorm with your team and launch it confidently. When we started, we never thought of what will be the price point, what will be that. We started with 1 month of rupees 1200, be a service. Right now, after doing so much research over the period, now that same service at rupees 2000, right?
That's
So we
correct.
are pivoting,
Hmm.
we are changing our services. We didn't have any Zumba aspect in the beginning.
Hmm.
Now it's Zumba is also there. We didn't have any educational videos and content, that is also there. So first we went into the industry, then we got some paid members, and then we served them. From there we came to know how they want. So ours is totally reversible process. So we went the other route, right? So then, seeing that so many members have their NRI friends outside India. For example, every memory, maybe you also have someone outside the India, right? So everyone start giving referrals to others outside India.
Hmm.
So we got so many members from all over the globe. We haven't done research yet in the outside community, how we will have to go about. That's why I didn't say we want to go globally right now. We want to stay in Indian community. And yes, if we get referrals from global
Hmm.
side, definitely we will take them into our picture. But yeah, our focus, our research is right now to serve Indian community right now.
So I think going ahead with the whole discussion, research is much more important. I think you have started initially and you have like learned through the whole journey. So yeah, research is important, and after that you can go with the MPP, because like after the research you will get exactly what customers want and what you want to throw into the market. So exactly. And thank you so much for the enlightenments, and the discussion was fabulous, like fabulous. And really thanks to three of you, and all of the members present here for the time, because we know time is important, and for giving the time to us and making us more knowledgeable about your journey, about entrepreneurship, about how exactly startup works. We are much grateful to you. Thank you so much. So If anyone have any question right now, anything to share, they just can unmute themselves or they can write in the chat box, so I can just give a shout out, anything to ask them, because this is the time when you can directly ask or directly say something to our entrepreneurs and to our experts. After that, yeah, you just have to yeah, contact us. We will make the contact of yours and the particular person that you want. Anyone? Okay. Mr. Ramakant Tripathi, are you want to like you want to say something?
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I mean, perhaps in the gang, I'm looking little bit senior or aged, I can say.
So you are young as enough.
Basically,
Young enough.
basically, I'm a chartered accountant and cost accountant, and I
Welcome,
do a
sir.
lot of investment banking activities and that. And I received a lot of proposals. So my few suggestions that I would like to put it over here
Of
because I
course,
have
of
heard
course.
everyone speaking. So it's rightly Mr. Subrajit has said, and all others, Shama ma'am has said. So, one thing is that we need to have a right co-founder. And if you are not finding a co-founder, doesn't matter. You go with your own, absolutely. You will be happiest person on the earth if you are doing individually also. Unless your bandwidth matches,
Hmm.
there is no, you can hire people, but don't get into something when your chemistry doesn't permit you. That is number one. Then second one is, I suggest that, I do funding, I do the investment banking
Hmm.
and other things, but I will always suggest that, get yourself registered with MSME, get all the NSIC benefits, and you try to generate what your working capital yourself, and try to so that the investor becomes quite interested. They get elude themselves looking to your business model, and rather than you approaching them, let them make that this is a beautiful project and my money is safe over here. So let them come in actually. That is how the functioning should happen. And yes, I'm seeing health sector. Health sector is really growing well, and many of the investors they look into that field rather than any other thing. And I have been listening to everyone. So in fact, I have my own startup that is present in Bangalore, that's present in Hyderabad.
Great, great.
I'm into diagnostic business. So I feel that these are the quite suggestions that I should give you, so that you try to generate case and carry business is always a blissful business,
Yes.
and concentrate on that case and carry, so that people look into your bank statement and they feel happy, our money is coming and money is getting utilized. Then that first activities that once you prove it, then your expansion becomes much easier. And for expansion, let us get into lot of benefits that MSME is having, that I will send across in the a group, that WhatsApp group where I'm part of it. Let's take the benefits of MSME. Let's take the benefits of seed funding and that. And with that, investor also becomes quite comfortable. Yes, this is the place where I can put in money and that. And as I have been listening to the jury, I mean to the speakers,
Hmm.
it was quite interesting, quite meaningful, and makes sense. That is how one should go all about. When they carry out a startup and all. And uh, obviously, you should make it. This one after 3 years or 4 years, you should not be called a startup. You should have on your presence everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So no more startup. Startups sounds even whenever I have seen, I have a lot of IT companies. They have started with first year 5 crores turnover top line
Hmm.
and within 5 years they have reached 100 crores or so. And when I asked them, you've grown so fast, and why don't you, I suggested them you apply for startup awards and other things, because I was advisor in different things, and I felt this is one kind of organization we should get a startup
Yes,
award. And
correct.
these things are, our market value will get diminished if we say ourselves a startup. So I mean, it's quite interesting. I mean,
Yes, yes,
it is
correct.
a live example. live example that I have witnessed myself. People after 3 years or 4 years, they hesitate to say that they are startup because they're playing with larger players. I would say one startup that achieved within 5 years now. They have become competitors to Infosys and TCS and all. So that is how one should work, and that is how one should aim in. Yes, I'm no more a star kind of thing. So these are few things that I wanted to share with you.
This is great, sir.
And thank you everyone for quite a meaningful discussion that we had. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot actually. Thank you. Thanks everyone. And
In fact, we also learned a lot from you, sir, and that was a valuable insight and suggestions, advices that we learned. So thank you so lot for being here. So thank you so much, Mr. Shubhajit. Thank you so much, Mr. Mittal, and thank you so much, Miss Shama Jha, and your co-founder also. And thank you so much, Mr. Um, Shruti. Are you here? I think Shruti, are you here? No. So yeah, Shruti is an employee here. She's working. So Shruti and Mr. Priyadashi is like getting all of this done. So yes, thank you so much for make it happen. And last but not the least, Mr. Barada, do you have anything to say? Because of course, everyone told about you. Everyone is like fascinated about your mentorship. So we want to hear something about startups and your work. How you doing things?
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you so much, Copy Break today. In fact, I have been witnessing this for last 4 to 5 years. When I was with National Entrepreneurship Network, that time onwards, Mr. Priyasi, so he initiated this startup. In fact, the first program was I was also in that program for last 3 to 4 years. It's very kind of nice initiative by my startup Yatra, and it's of course it's kind of lots of interesting insights from these startups. So thank you so much for continuing this. In fact, I would like to request if these stories can be featured maybe on your website if you have, or maybe on the social media pages, so that the entrepreneurs will be connected. Because every week, what I understand, maybe 2 to 3 entrepreneurs you are interacting.
Yes, correct.
So these they can be connected with each other globally at a national level, at a global level, which would be kind of a symbiotic association might happen with those startup founders.
Yeah, we do have, I think,
So
called the ecosystem. So we do have, and in fact, we do have a global mentor and a speakers community in Early Birds Club Auto Drive. We call it an obstacle to opportunity drive. So there we have like from different community from different country. We have a speaker and a co-founder. So we have a community, and we are always including them into the ecosystem. Already, you and three of them are in the ecosystem. So yes.
great. Yeah. So thank you so much. Wish you all the best for this initiative, and thanks the all these entrepreneurs,
Thank you so much, sir.
our
Thank you.
incubated startups for joining this program.
It was
Thank
it
you
was
so
it
much.
was a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, all three of you, for being here, for being giving the time. We learned a lot, and all the best for your future endeavors. And we are here every time. You can just connect us or like contact us. And in fact, any help or anything you want from us, we are always there for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a nice session. Thank you.
Thank you. So
All
until
the
then,
best. All the best.
have a nice weekend and goodbye.